Oh, didn't see you there. Sorry, I realized I must not be doing a fishing video. This must be a tournament video. Okay, let's get started, I guess. What the heck am I doing with this? It's got to be product placement because it's a favorite rod, which I love. I actually do like it. What if I held it on my chin? Would that look like a product placement you would buy? Okay, never mind. Let's try not that. Hey guys, Jack Dice here with Obsessed Fishing, and welcome back to another tournament video in my series Up and Coming. This was from the late fall of what are we at? What year is it? 2018? 2018. This was one of the final events of the year for me, fishing the FLW series of BFLs here in Virginia. Now, Kerr Lake, if you don't know, is actually a lake that I've done really well at. I've always seemed to fish well there, and I can't attribute that to anything else other than the fact that Kerr Lake tends to be a pattern lake. And what that means is if you catch a fish doing one thing off one certain type of structure or cover, you can often duplicate that and do that throughout the entire lake. And that's the kind of fishing I love to do. More than anything, figuring out a pattern just makes me super happy when fishing. And so coming into this event, I was pretty excited to be at it. Now I'm actually fishing two divisions of BFLs here in the FLW series. I'm fishing the Piedmont division and the Shenandoah division. Now this was in the Piedmont division, and in that division I'd had some semi-bad events, and including the one at High Rock. And so because of that, I really didn't have a shot at Angler of the Year or even the top 3 of Angler of the Year, which get extra money. So to me, coming into this final event, I'm doing well enough that as long as I catch a single keeper in this event, I'll probably make the championship. And I can't win the Angler of the Year, which means to me there's really only one thing to do, and that's to win. So I really was actually kind of excited because of that, and because this was a tough time of year. September anywhere is really tough, especially when it's been super hot. It was practically August temperatures, and it was really hot, really hot, and the fish were still in their summer patterns. But because it was like the daylight was getting less and it was more like fall, the fish were confused and they were scattered and they were really tough to catch. But that gets me excited. I tend to do better when it's tougher. I was actually pretty excited. I thought the stars could align. This could be the type of tournament. And in practice, it was looking that way. I figured that the better quality fish might be on the bank chasing bluegill, and that seemed to be the case. I actually got down there a week before, throwing a whopper plopper and a buzzbait around, and I saw a few wolf packs, caught a couple good ones. It was still tough, not a lot of bites, but a few good ones, and I was pretty hopeful going into the event. But just to be sure, I checked all my offshore brush piles and stuff, and I didn't get a single bite, which is kind of, unusual. Normally you can get a few small bites out of brush piles, and I didn't get any. So I decided, you know what, I'm gonna stay on the bank. That's where the better fish are coming into the event, and that's how I can win the tournament. And so that's exactly what I did starting off the morning.
Let us pray. Father in heaven, we thank you so much for this gorgeous morning you provided for us. We thank you for the many blessings we have each and every day. We ask all these things in your precious name. Amen.
Hopefully end up using this today. 5 times, 5 big ones. So in that tournament, I started running the bank in the morning, running with a whopper plopper, going with a wacky worm, the things that I've caught good fish on. And I started running places where I ran to a tree where I'd shook one off, and I didn't catch one. And then I ran some more banks and I didn't catch them. I ran some points and I didn't catch any. I ran to a pocket and I didn't catch any. And I ran up a creek and I ran some water I hadn't. And then I ran to a really good stretch of bank where I had shook some off, seen some cruising, and I went down it with the whopper plopper and a buzzbait and a wacky worm and a bunch of different things that I've been getting a few bites on, and nothing. Zip, nothing. And so I said, all right, well, let's run to a different area of the lake. Ran to a different area of the lake, kept running the bank. Nothing. Hours are going by, I haven't got a single bite, not seeing any activity, when just the day before I was catching them. So I said, you know what? Let's just go offshore for a minute. Why not? Let's just see. And I went off to an offshore brush pile place, and I fished my drop shot around, fished, and I saw a fish on the graph follow the bait, and they wouldn't get it. And I fished, and I'm just getting ready to say, let's just go back to the bank when, dunk, I get my first bite. Number one. All right, finally. Goodness.
Maybe we will fish offshore, I don't know.
I haven't fished deep this early in the morning. Maybe that's the key. So I decided, I ran to one of my favorite creeks on the lake and said, let's just fish some of the brush piles. I had a lot of brush piles marked. Maybe they're out offshore. So I decided to keep running brush piles in that creek. And nada, nothing, zip.
Kind of drifted off there for a second. You seen that new thing they come out with, that spot lock?
Yeah, dude.
That's pretty badass.
Oh, that would be so nice.
Yeah. Press that button.
Yep.
Alright.
Gonna run a couple other piles in this. It'd be nice if these dumb fish would just bite a bit.
Yeah, I know, right?
I came all through that brush pile 2 times, never got a tap and nibble nothing.
Ready?
Onward we go. So I ran to another creek that had a bunch of brush piles. I caught nothing. It seemed like I couldn't do anything right to make the fish bite. So I decided to run one other pattern that I found in practice. One other way that I actually found to get some bites. And that was running a swim bait by the columns of bridges. And I got actually a lot of bites in practice doing it. The problem was none of them were really keepers. But I said, you know what? We gotta try it. Maybe just if I go through enough fish, I'll end up catching 1 or 2 keepers. So I ran the bridges. All these are the ones I'm catching around here. I've caught on the bridge are small, but not keepers. But I keep hoping that one of these times there'll be a
Bigger one?
a 14-inch. Yeah. Oh, he might not keep, but I don't think he's gonna keep.
Yeah, he looks like 13 inch.
I'm not gonna measure. He felt bigger though. They're fatter. I just cannot. And I fished them, and I fished them, and I fished them, and I caught some, and the keepers never showed up. It was annoying because you'd see them busting on bait every now and then, but it was so random anywhere but the bridges. The bridges were the only place where you could get it consistently, and just didn't work out. Only had 3 fish going back to weigh-in at the super tournament, and was pretty disappointed. I figured I was gonna fall way down the standings, but I figured at least I was gonna make the championship. But I was really disappointed. Normally in a tough event, making the championship, it's all right, but I was pretty upset. I really thought I had a shot at doing well. I'd caught some good ones in practice, and to catch not a single fish doing it and catch all my fish doing something I hadn't caught any on, it just completely flip-flopped for no reason. The conditions didn't change at all. It just felt annoying, and I was frustrated with myself for not figuring something out. But even though I only had 3 fish for around 5 and some change pounds, I finished 21st place in this event. That tells you, one, well, the BFLs, they aren't the pro leagues, but also number 2, it was just that tough. It was that bad that 5 pounds gets you 21st place, not far from a check. So I guess learning experience from this event, you know, fish are not predictable, especially in tough events, and they can flip-flop on you, but you gotta fish through it. And that's what I did. And I tried to make adjustments. I tried to go for a win. I thought I needed to be on the bank, but when 4 hours goes by and you haven't gotten a bite, sometimes you gotta make adjustments. And even though it didn't work out to get me into the final day cut or win the event or put me in any position to do really well, it held me in there to get to the championship, which was good. And that made me happy. And it ended up solidifying my year. I ended up finishing 10th in the points in the Piedmont division, which was pretty good, and I could be satisfied with. So gives me more to strive for next year. It's not first, but 10th, top 10 is good, and leaves room to improve and try to win. So thank you guys so much for watching this tournament video, up and coming. If you want to see more like it, click around here or in the description, and I'll see you next time. Tight lines, God bless. I'm out. Back to fishing, actually.